What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? We are here for Married to Medicine. Sorry it took me a week to get this review to y'all, but y'all know it was a crazy week, right? We were too busy chasing down cookies in DC and Dinevas in Atlanta and Braxtons and stuff. We had a busy week, okay? But we are now here to talk about Married to Medicine. Let's get into it. So this was the season premiere. This is season 12, the premiere. We have two new ladies, Angel, who is a nurse, and then we have Brandy, who runs like a I don't know, she does like Botox, sort of like what Heather Gay's clinic does on Salt Lake City. They do a lot of the non like the cosmetic stuff that doctors don't have to do, right? Where you could do your Botox or you could do your cryo stuff, or yeah, know all those kinds of things. Med spa, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. A med spa. Okay. And that's similar to what KK's is as well, because I told you I wanted to go to KK's spa here in Baltimore. But when I pulled it up and I looked at the services that she provides, I don't want none of that stuff. And it's expensive. So I was like, I'm not going to go just to go to get something that I don't want. I was like, I can't just go get me a nice little facial or something. But she does, like, I think the closest thing she had that I said I might be interested was the hair laser removal. I was like, but other than that, which is a lot of stuff that I wasn't interested in. But anyway, so those are our two new ladies. Now, Angel is coming to us via Quad, and Brandy is coming to us via Simone. But y'all know we take that with a great salt when it comes to reality TV. Everybody is friends. Oh, this is my homegirl. I've known her forever. She my best friend. And then they fall out. I ain't even really know that hoe. The production made me do that. So, child, we take that with a great assault. We'll take that with a great assault, okay? With that being said, I knew that was coming. Sorry, that's why I paused like that. I knew that yawn was coming. So with that being said, you guys, we start this episode off because we have Quad and her friends at the pool. King is in the house making charcuterie boards and drinks. They had just had Quad's birthday party the night before. Now, we know that they filmed at Quad's birthday party because remember we saw the clips online, but I find it interesting that they're starting from the day after her birthday party, which I found that to be interesting. But while Quad is at her house partying and doing the things at her house, then we have Jackie and Simone having one of their infamous lunches down to the hospital. And from the very beginning, we see where Dr. Jackie once again is inserting herself in places nobody asked her. Dr. Simone is on call, and they're calling Dr. Simone about one of her patients and whether the patient needs to be sent home or whether they need to admit her or whatever. And Dr. Simone is asking questions, and Dr. Jackie talking about how far along is she? How many weeks is she? Is she dilated? Girl, that's not your patient. And she didn't ask for your opinion. She didn't ask for your 2 cents. She didn't ask for you to tell her. Girl, Jackie, don't you have enough of your own patients? Go sit over there somewhere, please, ma'am, and thank you. Anyway, so we done picked up where we left off from the reunion. We got Quad over on her house talking shit about Simone. We got Simone with Dr. Jackie talking shit about Quad. Let me tell you what I don't feel like doing. What I don't feel like doing, I do not feel like sitting through a season of the two of them arguing about old shit. I'm done. I'm tired. I am. I'm tired. I don't care. Now, Quad got mad because she said that Simone was at T's house making jabs at Quad about who gonna pay her mortgage. But Quad, you conveniently left out that you threw a jab at Simone when they asked you which one of your castmates would you take on Traitors, and you said Simone's name. Now, again, I feel like both of y'all are being silly and both of y'all are being petty, but I can understand that, Simone was like, girl, you said my name, so I said yours. You threw some shade, I threw some shade. Like, fair exchange ain't never been no robbery. Now, what I will say is Quad like to throw a rock and hide her hand too. Because Quad gonna invite that lady to her birthday party 2 hours before the party and then act like she don't understand why Simone didn't come. You know good and damn well you wouldn't have came. You get an invitation somewhere 2 hours before the event is supposed to start. You know good and damn well that you were afterthought. You were oops. You were oh my goodness I forgot. And anybody with good sense. See, those are the lessons you learn when you get older. When you get older, you realize that if you weren't invited, they didn't want you to come. Real easy. If I wasn't invited when you invited everybody else, you ain't want me to come. We found out that Quad sent them invitations out 2 weeks before that event. If Quad wanted Simone to come, Simone would have got her invitation. You invited me to something the same day of an event that has been planned, you ain't want me to come. And you only invited me to be able to say later, well, I invited her. I don't know why she didn't show up. I told her she could come. Now, in my 20s, I probably would have still went because I would have been happy that you remembered me. But now that I'm older and I'm in my 50s, I'm good on that. Simone threw shade with Sweet Tea was it for me. Well, that's what I'm saying. But Quad threw shade at Simone. That's what I'm saying. Quad threw the shade, so then Simone threw the shade back. Now, some might say, well, what Quad did was, what Simone did was worse than what Quad did. I mean, that's an argument to be made, but both of them did it. They was both being shady. But what I'm not doing is getting into the back and forth of it all. I'm just sick of it. I'm just be honest. I'm sick of it. But we're going to talk about that some more, child. I'm sure we're going to talk about that some more. But let me say this to you too, Miss Simone. Simone, we are now in season 12 of this show, which means that this show has been on the air for probably 14 to 15 years, right? Because, for each season, you still got to give time for the show to actually air and all of that. So for the last 15 years of your life, Dr. Simone, you have been doing this show. You understand what it is. You know what it looks like. You know what the production wants and all of that. Ma'am, you have been doing this way too long for me to feel like those are rehearsed reads. When you were sitting there with Dr. Jackie, I just felt like you were trying too hard. I felt like you wrote all of that shit down and you rehearsed it. I must have rehearsed my lines. You rehearsed that and you were waiting. You were waiting all of that before she come and play on my playground. And then with the bag and the bread, girl, if you don't, all that, Simone, you were doing a lot. And I just felt like you rehearsed it. I felt like you were ready for it. You know what I'm saying? We know that Dr. Heavenly is a friend of the show this season, so she wasn't even on the whole first episode. She was just not there. She was talked about, but she wasn't there. The next scene we see is Toya and Toya's new house. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, baby. We have been there and done that with you in this house, Toya. We have been there and we have done that with you in this house. It's a beautiful house. I think they said the total price was $3 million. It's a beautiful home. You have a whole tree in your closet. It's a fake tree, y'all. But she has a whole tree in her closet. It's beautiful. The house is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Beautiful gowns. Okay. Now we find out that Dr. Eugene is now working 2 jobs, and one of those jobs is 2.5 hours away. So let me say this. I know a lot of y'all do not like Dr. Heavenly. And I know y'all don't even, my thing is this. I used to really like Dr. Heavenly. I don't really like her as much as I used to, especially after last season and the comments she made about gay men. Y'all know that kind of really rubbed me the wrong way for real. But one thing that can't nobody say, Dr. Heavenly be telling us the truth about stuff. We just don't like her delivery, and we think that maybe We may not always like her delivery, and we may not always feel like she needs to say what she says, may not be appropriate or whatever. But this whole thing with Eugene and Toya, she ain't never lied on Eugene and Toya. When it comes to how hard Eugene worked and how Toya is running that man in the ground, and how no matter what that man makes, Toya wants more. He even said it himself. The fact that every season, we start this season, Eugene got another job. And every time he was like, well, I'm making more money. Well, I know you don't have no problem with the paycheck. You complaining that I work 2 hours away, but you ain't got no issue on payday. See, you're right, Kim. She tells everybody to shoot for hers. You're right. That's a fact. Now, that's a fact. But my thing is, she didn't lie about Toya working Eugene ass to death. She didn't lie about no matter what Eugene does, it's just never enough. Toya, I don't mean no harm, ma'am. I don't mean no harm, but that's just not cute. I can't look at this beautiful house and these nice cars and the way y'all living, and I honestly can't feel no kind of way about it, because I feel like, ultimately, I feel like you are running this man in the ground. Every season, Eugene has another job. Last season, he opened up his own clinic. What happened with that? Did it not do well? Is he not doing it anymore? I mean, that field is sort of saturated now. I mean, everybody and their cousin is opening up a clinic when they sell the GLP-1 medicine. I mean, you got online and stuff like that. But, I mean, you couldn't pivot. Like, there weren't other things you could do. Like, how? Like, what happened? Because I really was happy for Eugene last season. He was still working his full-time job, but then he had his little clinic, and it sounded like it was doing well. And it literally just opened. So I'm confusion. And when I say I feel bad for Eugene, I'm gonna say I feel bad for him only in the sense that I do feel like he is in love with a woman that he can't satisfy. No matter what he gives her, it just doesn't seem to be enough, because he's always, and he's getting older. He can't keep burning this candle at both ends like this. You're driving 2.5 hours to work. He's working 5 days in a row, and then he's coming home. First of all, how much money are you making? What are you spending in hotel rooms? Or even if y'all are getting an Airbnb, which is probably cheaper if you're going to stay for a whole week. It's cheaper to just run an Airbnb. But what are you spending on Airbnbs? And I see you driving a Tesla, so I guess you ain't really spending nothing on gas. But what are you spending on Airbnbs and food and all the things from being away from home for 5 days in a row? And Toya, then you got the nerve to complain about being away from about the man not being home for 5 days in a row. But he's doing it to maintain this lifestyle that you want. And the reality is he makes enough money that y'all could really be living a really nice lifestyle off of at this point, you should be making good money on this show, Married to Medicine. You should be making a really nice little paycheck and his paycheck. And y'all really should be living a really nice life. But it just seems like it's never enough. Anyway. Eugene must think he can't get any better, but he's handsome to me, so I don't get it. I think Eugene is handsome as well, but I also do think there's a part of Eugene that feels like Toya's a dime, and what am I going to get? And you know how Toya always says, before me, he was a nerd, and he was this, and he was that. So I think there's a part of him that believes that. I think there's a part of him that feels like, and now they're at the point now where they just been together so long, and they got 2 kids and stuff. I think now he just feels like, this is my family, But it's just, anyway. Because even with the house situation, I mean, again, people don't have to like what Dr. Heavenly said, but Dr. Heavenly broke it down. And then when they had the housewife on there that was a real estate agent, when she broke it down, that Toya, I don't know why Toya had to get out of that last house that was supposed to be her forever home and her dream house. I don't know why she had to get out. Well, I do know the rumors were she was upside down in that house. So, I mean, and they did offer her, people offer you, when you're a homeowner, people knock on your door all the time. Hell, I got a text message today. That was like, hey, would you be willing to come in and talk to us about selling your home? Absolutely fucking not. So I understand that somebody probably did knock on their door and was like, hey, we'll buy this house from you for XYZ. But in the long run, girl, you wasn't even in that house for a year. You didn't have no equity. You didn't have shit in there. But that's neither here. That's money. Listen, that's money under the bridge, I guess. So then we have Dr. Contessa. And again, We don't have to like Dr. Heavenly, but Dr. Heavenly be telling the real deal. Girl, you sat there and let us know then that you didn't have no money. You and your husband, once again, same thing. Y'all working 4 and 5 jobs because y'all are trying to pay for this building that y'all bought that the construction is running over and y'all are spending way too much money. So once again, here we go. You got to put this building that y'all are still renovating, what, 3 years later? And it costs more than what y'all thought. So you're basically working just to pay. And here's what I also found to be interesting. Because again, y'all got to listen when people are talking. What I also found to be interesting was she said that they basically cashed out everything because they bought that building in cash. So she said 401k, stocks, everything. She said they cashed out everything to buy that building so they could buy it in cash. I don't understand why you would do that. If you have the credit and you have the jobs and the earning potential and you had enough for a down payment, why would you cash out everything to buy it in cash? I mean, I understand I'm not rich. I know I'm not a rich woman, but that does not make financial sense to me. Especially for a building that needs, I could even see if it was ready to move it. You knew you were going to have to put work into it to get it the way you needed it to be. Why would you do that? I don't understand. And now it does sort of make sense that you ain't paid Buffy her money and Buffy now done went down to the court to put a lien on your damn house because you owe Buffy that money. Because it don't sound like you have none. Child. It don't make no sense to have 2 doctors in the house and be broke at this point in the game. Y'all been doctors long enough that your student, first of all, Contessa don't have no student loans. Anyway, I shouldn't say she don't have no student loans, but I don't believe her student loan debt is the same as like the average person because she went to the military and the military probably paid a lot of that off, right? Y'all should not still be in this kind of debt at this point in your life, being doctors to a two income household and I know that doctor doesn't equate millionaire, but certainly the earning potential is a lot higher. Certainly the earning potential is a lot higher for 2 doctors in one household. Anyway, moving right along. So then we have our first event of the season. What's her name? Oh Lord, now I can't remember her name. The doctor, the psychiatrist. Oh shoot. And former Mimi, right? Dr. Mimi, Chuck will tell me. He always get the names right. Dr. Mimi, she's having a Polo Classic party. Now listen. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm afraid of. Oh, I'm going to say this and then remind me to go back to Toya and Eugene. I forgot something. But I'm going to say this, and this way I'm nervous. Last year was Mimi's first season, and a lot of the feedback was that Mimi was boring. Mimi, please don't try to do too much and go above and beyond. Please and thank you. I liked you last year, Mimi. Okay. I thought you held your own, Mimi. I mean, you might need to add a little bit more spice, a little paprika, but do not pour that whole bottle in the pot. You're going to fuck it up. Ma'am, I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back. Do not pour the whole bottle in the pot. Okay. Give us a little bit of paprika, a little pinch, but don't do too much, Mimi, because the people was talking about you. Now, let me go back to Toya and Eugene. Something I did forget. Toya couldn't wait to bring up Dr. Heavenly and her son. Now, let me be honest. And let me say this. Toya, I support you bringing up Dr. Heavenly's situation. I do. I 120% support Toya taking the opportunity to give Dr. Heavenly a taste of her own medicine. Dr. Heavenly has gotten away with not talking about her life for years on this show. She has floated by exposing everybody else's life and everybody else's business. And she has talked about everything on this show. She has talked about other people's husbands. She has talked about their jobs. She has talked about their finances. Now, I can't, off the top of my head, think of a time when she came for people's kids, but that's not the point either. If you felt like it was something that needed to be talked about, you talked about it. So I don't want nobody talking about, but the kids, I don't give a fuck. That's a grown ass man. He's Dr. Heavenly's child, but he is not a child. And I don't want to hear nobody saying, but it didn't happen on the show. He's not even on the show. I don't care. I don't care. If it was somebody else, y'all, I might even be like, well, I get it. But for Dr. Heavenly, absolutely not. She gets no pass from me. I'm sorry. None. Because she has made it her business between her YouTube channel and just her being messy on the show to tell everybody's business. Unsolicited. So if Toya want to talk about what's going on with Dr. Heavenly and her son, because it was in the news and it was in the blogs and it was absolutely, I support it. Now, in that same vein, Dr. Heavenly has a right to defend her child. I mean, just because I don't feel like she has a right to defend her child. She has every right to say, listen, my child's not on the show, and that's my child, and don't talk about my child. She has every right to feel that way. But I also feel like Toya has every right to bring it up. Now, that's just my 2 cents on that. I guess she can bring it up. She can also deal with whatever reaction she gets from bringing it. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying, Bap. That's what I'm saying. I feel like Dr. Heavenly has every right to defend it. She does. And she has every right to be upset by it. But I'm not going to, for me, other people might say this, but for me, I'm not going to say, oh, Toya shouldn't bring that up. Shit. The way Dr. Heavenly be dragging Toya ass and her finances and her husband. I mean, Dr. Heavenly has talked about Toya's husband, and some people might say, but that's her husband, that's not her child. I don't care. The way that Dr. Heavenly has drugged Eugene ass up and down these YouTube streets. Shit. Now, so we see that Dr. Mimi and her husband are having a Polo Classic party. Listen, I really wish that you had just called this like a garden party, because I really thought it was going to be a polo match. I really thought we was going to get our Pretty Woman moment on. You know, the Pretty Woman when Julia Roberts went to the little polo match and then she ran out there to stomp the divots in. I really thought we was going to have like a whole polo moment. Like, you know, I really felt like that's what we was going to get. Girl, y'all having a garden party. Y'all didn't even have no real horses there. But okay, though, but it looked like a cute party and everybody had on their little garden outfits and stuff. Quad, I did not like this wig you had on, ma'am. Now, 99.9% of the time, Quad, you get it right. And I don't have nothing, Quad, Miss Quad, you get it right. But I absolutely was not feeling this wig you had on when you got your invitation. That looked like a wig that was left over from Dr. Heavenly's beauty supply store that was a closing sale, a going out of business sale, and you picked it up for $10.99. That really looked like a Party City wig, Miss Quad, and you normally get it right, but that wig was hideous. I'm sorry, not sorry. It was hideous. It was hideous. So we see Toya meeting up with Simone, and of course, Toya's trying to get Dr. Simone to make up with Quad. Like, look, just talk to Quad. Can we clear the air? Can we resolve this? Then there was a situation where Toya was on Watch What Happens Live, and they were talking about the picture with Curtis having his hand around Dr. Heavenly. And so Toya was like, well, Curtis has had a couple of issues, you know, with putting his hands on us, you know. And they talk about the infamous moment where Curtis pulled Toya into his lap. And then Jackie got mad. Jackie, what you mad for? Girl, we saw it on camera. Andy asked her about the inappropriate picture. Did she think it was inappropriate with Curtis putting his hand around Dr. Heavenly? I don't feel like Toya was out of line to bring up. Well, you know, I had a situation with Curtis too, who was a little handsy. Because we all talked about that. We all talked about how Curtis pulled Toya into his lap and whether it was appropriate or not, or whether he did too much, and whether, like, we had the conversation. When I say we, I mean the fans and the blogs and stuff. We had the conversation. It's not like she brought up something we didn't see or something that wasn't talked about when it happened. Jackie, what are you mad about? Oh, you mad because you still worried about whether your husband out here pulling other women in his lap? Because that's the only reason why I could. Because you talking about something, I just don't feel like that should have been brought up. Why not? They were talking about Curtis and him being handsy. Not and she hungry. I'm not doing this with you, Miss Edith. Miss Edith said, and he hungry. I'm not doing this with you, Miss Edith. That's not funny. So yeah, like I'm really sitting here like, what? But Toya didn't get up, she just laughed. I understand that Toya's response isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about him doing it. I understand what you're saying, CC, that Toya didn't respond. I mean, she did laugh in the moment. But the point for me, the question, though, is, was it an appropriate thing for him to do? Listen, we're going to keep having this conversation. I had this conversation last season. It's time for a lot of them to go. You're not going to tell me that y'all can't find some fresh faces of doctors in the Atlanta area, or wives or husbands of doctors in the Atlanta area that don't want to be a part of this franchise. Because Married to Medicine is not, even though they have their moments, we know, but ultimately Married to Medicine is a very respected franchise as it relates to the people who go on the show. I mean, the Dr. Jackies, the Dr. Simones, even the Dr. Heavenlies are still very well respected in their field. I do like the fact that they've expanded. We have a nurse this season because everybody doesn't have to be a doctor. You know, we have a nurse on there this season. We have someone that has the med spa clinic. So I like the fact that they are thinking outside of the box and they are expanding the show from that perspective. But honestly, I think it's time for most of them to go, or at least reduce them to friends of. Like, there's no reason why Simone has a main storyline. She don't have a storyline. That's why she's fighting with Quad, because she ain't got shit else to talk about. Her sons are gone. They tried to give us a storyline about the sons in that apartment. Child, we didn't care. Like, we didn't care about you moving your sons into that condo that they kept nasty. We didn't care, right? Same thing with Dr. Jackie. Dr. Jackie, the one thing I will say is Dr. Jackie does bring a product every season. She's gonna sell us something. She's gonna sell us a book. She's gonna sell us some serum. She's gonna sell us some perfume. I think this season she's selling scrubs. Okay. Dr. Jackie is gonna make a coin, okay, but she don't have a storyline. The only storyline Dr. Jackie ever gave us was her and Curtis, and she didn't want to do that. She was forced to do that. That's Kim. That's a different franchise. That's a different production. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but we talk about Married to Medicine. We can't start comparing to every franchise and every other person. We sticking to Married to Medicine. Now, let's be clear. Do I think that Simone paid her debt? Absolutely. Simone carried the show for many seasons with her and Curtis losing his job, Curtis having the best friend. Simone has absolutely given us storylines. She just ain't got, it's kind of like what I said about Candy. At a certain point, you don't have anything else to give. You have given us what you don't have anything else to give. It's the same thing. I just feel like, at this point, I just feel like Dr. Jackie could be reduced to a friend of. Simone could be reduced to a friend of. With no disrespect, they just ain't got nothing else to give us. Quad has sort of revamped her storyline by having King, and now she's going on her IVF journey. So Quad is bringing us a story. Hell, Toya don't even have nothing to give us at this point. I mean, what is Toya giving us the last 3 seasons? Quiet as kept and loud as it is, they should have kept Sweet Tea ass. Sweet Tea was actually, I mean, I know Sweet Tea burned a lot of bridges, but quiet as kept and loud as it is, Sweet Tea had a storyline. I mean, Sweet Tea got into it with everybody. Dr. Heavenly, Quad. She was cool with Simone, so she had a friend on the show. I mean, they really should have kept Sweet Tea. Now, I don't know how much of it was. They should have kept Sweet Tea on the show. And I would not be surprised to see Sweet Tea come back. I would, after this season, and I'm going to wait and see how this season plays out, but I would not be surprised to see Sweet Tea come back next season. Because they really do. They kind of need her. Whether you love her or you love to hate her, they kind of need her. We see that Sweet Tea and Toya have fallen out. They were cool. They're not cool anymore. We could have explored that this season. I'll be honest with you. I would have been much more interested in looking at a Sweet Tea Toya feud than a Simone and Quad feud. Because I feel like I'd have seen Simone and Quad 5 seasons. At least the Sweet Tea Toya thing would be new. Sweet Tea was the first person in a long time to go at Dr. Jackie, but then she sort of spiraled. Yeah, Sweet Tea just needed to reel it in a little bit. She did a little too much, but I understand why she spiraled. She spiraled because they was gaslighting her ass. They was playing in her face, and she didn't know how to turn it off. She didn't know how to play the game. But if she could have kept it to a 7. She probably would still have her job. Because you're right. Her not being afraid to go at it with Dr. Jackie. Her calling Dr. Jackie a bitch was probably taking it a little bit too far. But her not being afraid to go at Dr. Jackie. Her not being afraid to go at Dr. Heavenly. Her not being afraid to... I mean, of course we know her and Quad of it all. But honestly, if she could have dialed it down just a little bit. But she was giving us some good shit. Sorry. Hell, and I don't even like Greg. I don't have no use for Greg. But the funniest shit last season was Greg in that damn song. Like, that shit had me in stitches. She needed a friend that wasn't scared of the other women. I miss Audra still. That's who they need to bring back too, child. They need to bring back Audra soon. But that's what I'm saying. So ultimately, I mean, honestly, you guys, I like Married to Medicine. I do. But I also think that, I think a lot, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of it happen right now with these shows. I think that a lot of these shows are at that point where we have to adjust to the changing times of reality television. The formula that worked for Bravo when all this shit first started, it just doesn't exist anymore. Bravo, first of all, Bravo was being held accountable for a lot of shit that they used to get away with. I mean, when we go back and look at these old shows, we know that some of this stuff, like, there's no way in the world that Nene would have ever been able to have a gays. What did she call her store? Her party, her gays and heels party or some shit. What was that? And she said, in order you had to wear heels and bring a gay. Like, y'all know good and damn well that there's no show on Bravo where that would have been okay right now. At least definitely not calling it that. I mean, but they got away with that. We gays and guys. Yeah, it was something crazy. And you had to bring a gay, like it was a prop or something. Like they, not it. Like they were props. Nene would never get away with that now. Girls and gays. Thank you, Brandon. And so we're just at a point where we all need to pivot. The viewers need to pivot, and so does production. And that's what I mean. Like, I think it's okay to say, listen, we'll keep the OGs, but we're not going to put the onus of the show on their shoulders because they're not going to do it. Jackie's not going to carry this show. Simone is trying, but she don't have nothing new. So all she's going to do is keep yelling at the same people. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's just my opinion, y'all. That's just my opinion. So let me keep going. So we get to the party, and this is where we're meeting Angel and we're meeting Brandy. They talk about Dr. Heavenly again, because of course they're gonna make that a storyline. And I understand somebody was saying, well, why does Toya have to keep talking about it? Why does she have to try to get everybody on her side? That's what they all do. Like, just because it's Dr. Heavenly, the formula don't change. That is what they all do. All of them, if they want to get everybody, it's a campaign. She's campaigning the room to get everybody to agree with her so that when Dr. Heavenly does show up, then we can, bum rush her, attack her. We saw it happen this season on Potomac. The only difference was Stacey was there on the first episode. But go back to the first 15 to 20 minutes of the first episode of this season of Potomac. Those ladies were sitting at Giselle's house. They supposed to be there to talk about Karen going to jail, and somehow it ended up being about Stacey and TJ and the lies. And by the time Stacey showed up, it was her. And they all jumped on her. Like, that's what they do. The only difference is because we didn't see Dr. Heavenly this whole episode, I think it probably looked worse. And according to Dr. Heavenly, they cut out a lot. And she said, Toya said a whole lot more than what they showed us. But Toya's not doing anything different than if anybody else had something that happened while they weren't filming. That's all it is. It's just a way to bring it onto the show. I'm going to get to that, nitwit. I'm about to get to that. Xavier, they were good friends. The ladies treated them like props, though. Right. That's what I'm saying. They treated them like props. They're keeping the talent too long. They need to switch them out and bring them back if they have something going on. Monique from Real Housewives of Potomac is an example. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's okay to switch people out, and it's okay to bench. Like, it's kind of like coaching a football team, right? Oh, a better example, a basketball team. It's kind of like coaching a basketball team. You might have 8 talented players on your team, but you can only put 5 of them on the court at one time. And production is like the coach. You got to rotate the people in and rotate the people out to maximize the points, right? So this season, maybe Dr. Heavenly don't really have nothing for us this season, so we're going to bench her. I'm just using her as an example. Dr. Contessa, it's okay, because I think we do have some strong Black women, and I love seeing it, right? But if there's no story, there's no story. Anyway. Okay. So yes, that's what I was getting ready to bring up. We've already sort of talked about it, but let's talk about it in the episode. And I'm going to talk about what happened afterwards too, because I'm almost done with this episode. So Dr. Jackie done walked up on Brandy and said something about that lady thyroid. Now, Dr. Jackie, the same thing I said when I talked about this yesterday, and the same thing I said when I did my TikTok video, there was no reason for you to walk up on that lady like that. Number one, if you were really truly concerned about her health, then you could have pulled her aside. You still could have had the cameras there. You still could have had a scene for the show. But if you weren't trying to have a moment, if you weren't trying to have an aha moment, you could have pulled that woman aside. Now, to be perfectly honest, in my opinion, I don't think that Dr. Jackie was trying to embarrass Brandy. What I think Dr. Jackie was trying to do was have a I'm smarter than you moment. Look at how smart I am. I'm the smartest doctor on this show. I'm the smartest person in the room. And look, nobody else saw this but me. And I honestly believe that that's what that was about. I do not think that it was about her trying to embarrass Brandy. I really think it was about, I want to prove that I'm the smartest person in the room. And here I go again. Brandy was like, yeah, I know. And then Dr. Jackie felt stupid because Brandy was like, yeah, I know I do have a thyroid issue. And then she was like, oh, because I just wanted to let you know, because that could be very serious. See, once I told you that I already know, that's the end of the conversation. But because now you're embarrassed, now you still feel like you got to add something. You still feel like you have to say something, and you don't. Because what's free? Shutting the fuck up. Now, Dr. Jackie done came down here and apologized, but even in her apology, she still, in my opinion, even in her apology, she still is trying to sound smart. Because first you say, oh, it was just menopause. You know, it was a menopause moment. Because, my mouth works before my brain catches up. So you can have a menopause moment and your behavior can be excused because of your condition, meaning menopause. But when them black women came into your office who were pregnant and complained about back pain and leg pain and didn't feel like they could work a full 8-hour day at their job, they were just lazy and they were just using their pregnancy as an excuse. But then you use menopause as an excuse to be rude to that lady. I mean, I don't understand the difference. And then Brandy came down to her Instagram and basically said, yes, I do have a thyroid problem. It was diagnosed when I was pregnant with my twins. I'm very aware of it, And I feel like she did a good job of taking it and twisting it. She said she was offended when Dr. Jackie came at her like that. Like she felt some kind of way about it. And see, this is where, again, Dr. Jackie, you can't just let shit go. Because you did it on the show. We saw it on camera. You apologized. Brandy came down to her Instagram and she said her piece. So then you were asked, it looked like you were at some event and the Neighborhood Talk asked you about it. And instead of just saying, yeah, it was a moment, I did apologize and we've moved on, which is what you could have just said. That's what you could have just said, Dr. Jackie. You could have said, yeah, it was a moment. I've apologized. We've moved on. Watch the rest of the season. See how it plays out. You could have said a lot of things. Because again, I'm going to say the same thing to you that I've been saying, that I said to Simone. You've been doing this a long time. You know what this shit is. You know what it gives. You've been doing it a long time, Dr. Jackie. But that's not what you did, Jackie. What you did was, I think she was looking for a moment because we had already talked and I had already apologized. But, she's just trying to make a splash. See, when you do shit like that, then it makes me feel like you're not sorry for what you did. Because that woman has every right to speak on her experience. It's the same shit y'all did to It's the same thing that y'all did to Buffy. And again, I know Buffy ain't everybody's cup of tea, and people feel like maybe Buffy dragged it too long and she can't let it go. And that's fine. I'll put that over there to the side. But I mean, on the show, when it happened, y'all did the same thing to Buffy. Y'all tried to act like it wasn't a big deal and y'all didn't understand why she was so mad about it and just get over it. See, people have a right to their experience and people have a right to express themselves when and how they want to. That woman didn't talk shit about you the whole time. Y'all filmed this months ago. To my knowledge, Brandy hasn't come down to her Instagram to drag you. Brandy didn't expose you and come down and say, oh my gosh, I went to an event with Dr. Jackie was so rude to me. I don't feel like she used this as a moment throughout, because y'all know we've seen it happen with these reality shows filming, and they can't wait to go to Instagram and talk shit and let us know something that happened, and then we gotta wait until the show comes on for us to be like, well, what happened? Y'all know what it is. But that's not what this woman did. She waited till the episode aired, which is what they should do, and then she addressed it. And I don't even feel like she was nasty to you when she addressed it. But now you feel some kind of way and you're embarrassed. So here your ass come. Right. She did an educational post about thyroid disease. But she has a right to she has a right to her feelings and saying, yeah, I did feel some kind of way about it. She has every right to that. But that makes me feel like we can erase your damn apology. That's what I feel like now. I just feel like we can erase the apology. Then Dr. Jackie had to talk about Eugene and the clip and all that. Child, we done already talked about that. I don't care. I don't feel like Toya was out of line by having a conversation about it. Jackie, you just mad because your man got caught out in these streets. Because let's be clear, had Curtis never gotten caught, your ass would have never talked about what happened. So the fact that you talked about it, that's it. That's all, as far as I'm concerned. Then, of course, we got to talk about Quad and Simone. And this is sort of where we left off. If I left something out, y'all drop it in the chat. But this is sort of where we left off. Jackie is a mean girl. I agree with you 100% correct. She's a mean girl, but because she masked it in soft talking and polite talk, hey, Don Boo, she sort of masked it in soft talking and all of that, and in politeness, right? But let me tell y'all something. Simone brings up, and she does it in normal Simone style, where she got to scream at the top of her fucking lungs, how many of y'all would have went to a party that you were just invited to 2 hours prior? And of course, everybody was like, none of us, including Quad. And so then they had to go back and forth about, well, you said this about Quad, well, Quad said this about me. It was sort of a rehash of what we already heard at the beginning of the episode. And that's really where the episode pretty much ended. So I guess we're going to pick up on the other side. I guess we're going to pick up with, next episode, we're going to pick up at the party. And I guess we're going to get more arguing, child. You know what, Cece? I agree with you 100%. I believe that Dr. Jackie is not a happy woman. I don't know her. I don't know nothing about her personally, but I do not think Dr. Jackie is a happy person. I think she is still married to Cecil out of, one, I think she's still married to him out of, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And two, I think there's a part of her that feels like nobody else will want her. And that is my opinion. Do I think that Dr. Jackie is a confident woman in her career? Absolutely. Do I think she's a confident woman in love and in relationships? No. Remember, Cecil was her first. Remember, she was a virgin until she married Cecil. Cecil was her first, and I guess as far as we know, her only. Do I think that Dr. Jackie is interested in starting over at damn near 60 years old and going back out here in the real world and trying to date when you've literally only been with one man your entire life? Absolutely. I said Cecil. I mean Curtis. I don't know why I always call him Cecil and call Cecil Curtis. Curtis. My bad, y'all. Curtis. Let me say it 3 times. Curtis. I mean Curtis. But do I think she's interested in trying to start over? I don't. And some women, no matter how successful they are, no matter how rich they are, no matter how beautiful they are, no matter how gorgeous their wardrobe is, some women would rather take a piece of a man than no man. And I think that's where Dr. Jackie is. When that man cheated on her, I think they came. Because again, do I think that Jackie was hurt that he cheated? Absolutely. But I think she was more embarrassed that it was so public and she got caught up in a scandal. I'm sorry, she damn near said she's not 67. She's 62 though, because she said that in the post. She said they keep putting 67 up there, and she's not 67. She's 62. At least that's what she's saying. I ain't seen her birth certificate, so she said she was a virgin. Now she might have been lying. Y'all know people like to lie. I mean, hell, Dr. Heavenly lied, but we know she lying. When Dr. Heavenly says it, we know she's lying. When Dr. Jackie says it, I kind of think she's telling the truth. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, but I kind of think she's telling the truth. Now she needs a sandwich. She does look really, really little. Like, and that's the other thing. Are you allowing yourself to enjoy your life? Like, do you eat what you want to? And I mean, within reason, y'all. I mean, I know that I eat. I'm gluttonous because that's why I'm fat. But Jackie, do you allow yourself to eat what you want to eat within reason? Do you allow yourself to let your hair down and just like, I wonder when the cameras aren't around who Dr. Jackie is when the cameras aren't there. Like, I just wonder. You know what I mean? Like, who is Dr. Jackie when the camera's on around? Like, there's certain people on reality TV that you're getting who you're getting. I think you're getting who you're getting, whether the cameras are there or not. But then there are other people, I just don't think we're getting the real doc. I think we're getting the persona she wants us to see on camera. But that's just me. I don't know her, child. That's my opinion. I don't know her. The last thing I want to say is my observation. Did y'all pick up on the fact that King is over this shit? I think King was like, damn it, I let y'all show me last year and y'all done raked me over the coals. Y'all done went through my business. Y'all done found lawsuits and shit. Did y'all hear? I mean, he just sounded like he is over it. He was telling Quad that the argument between her and Simone is just stupid. And did you hear how many times he called that argument stupid? I think, and I'm not saying I think King and Ray break up with her. That ain't what I'm saying. But baby, King is over it. King is over it. Do you hear me? Anyway, y'all, that's it and that's all. I have figured out what Abby sent me. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. Why? Abby's stupid. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I wonder if King went back and watched previous seasons. I don't know. Still being there for the baby, but leaving. I mean, I could see him being one of those people that like, I don't want to be on camera anymore. Like, I feel like we might not get as much of King maybe going into if he's still around next season. I can see us not getting as much of King. I absolutely feel like Quad was pressured into showing King because I believe that her and King have been dating for a while. I don't know if they've been dating as long as they said they've been dating, but I believe they've been dating for a while. I don't know, but I don't know if I do think Quad was sort of pressured into us seeing him. But let me say this. So we're caught up now. I mean, of course, we're starting this Friday and we're starting all over again, but I believe we're caught up. Don't know what the weekend is going to look like, you guys. I'm being honest with that. I have to talk to JB. I'm not sure about, I don't know. I think it's his turn to host Beyond the Gate. So my tomorrow is pretty flexible. So we may get Beyond the Gates tomorrow. I'm going to have to hit him up. You will get Potomac on Sunday night. Married to Medicine, I'm going to try to get y'all that on Monday. Ready to Love probably will be Sunday morning with Shade in the City. Love and Marriage Huntsville. It'll either be Sunday morning after Married to Medicine. I mean, Lord, Marriage, Ready to Love. Or if I'm home Saturday, I may do it Saturday night. I'm just not sure. So there's that's the lineup for this weekend. I am going to go live on the Chasing Orlando. I have to talk to El Teddy and Abby about that. So we'll get it. I'll talk to them. I'm not going to do it on my own. We'll do it the three of us together. So I don't know. Married. Oh Lord. The main channel, I am going live to talk. I have made some decisions about what we are going to do as a tribe for Christmas. So I'm going to go live so I can go over all of that information. I will go live so I can go over all of that. So we'll do that at some point this evening. It's 3:45 now. So I'll probably just go live my regular time and we'll just go over all of that stuff. I just don't have a lot of celebrity news to really talk about, but we'll hit a few stories. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here because I gotta go to the ladies' room. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.